Boy, I have a lot to say.
Quick panel.
Hold on. Let me just share this with my social media.
GeForce RTX 4060 TV. Quick panel is running. Tap for more.
Right, guys, what's going on, everyone? This is your boy, the Bengal Dragon. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons, as all your support really helps this legally blind YouTuber remain motivated to continue making a variety of different type of videos in this channel, and through the YouTube algorithms would really help this channel grow. Boy, do I have a lot to say. Boy, do I have a lot to say. And just as I never thought I'd say this before, but I'm seeing some stuff out there. Listen, man, if you have a problem with me being legally blind and announcing it all the time, get the heck out of my channel. Yeah, unsubscribe and let me know that you're unsubscribing so that I can block you, so that I know that never to pay attention to you again. If my legal blindness and me announcing it is a problem for you, okay? But to all of those who stuck around, nothing but support for you guys. And I thought it's appropriate right now that I play, or I try and play Resident Evil, a Resident Evil game, considering we just got the Resident Evil 9 trailer. Alright, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna let this play, and it'll give me some more time to talk.
The American Midwestern town.
This is the only Resident Evil game that I have,
due to the T-virus outbreak that was instigated by the international corporation Umbrella.
Now,
Claire Redfield, who arrived.
Okay, let's talk about the trailer, right? I've seen some dumb,
managed to escape.
Okay, reactions out there like, oh, I don't like how great he looks. Oh, I don't like how great he looks. It's not some stupid thing with my tongue. Shut the...
3 months later.
You shut the heck up, man. I'm like, listen, man. It's a thing called an inhibitory filter, alright? Okay, but listen, I don't have a problem.
Your identification
with,
number is
WKD4496.
Or
how Rodrigo looks, or how Claire looks, or how Leon looks. Bro.
Her name is Claire Redfield.
I'm not.
We caught her trespassing in a Paris lab facility 10 days ago. She apparently infiltrated the complex looking for her lost brother, Chris Redfield, one of the surviving members of RPD's famous STARS team.
Stupid people reaction aside, right? Now, what I saw in the trailer. Okay, guys, let me know if I missed something. Okay, there was an office building and a Nick Fury stand-in. Samuel L. Jackson stand-in, like, and then Samuel L. Jackson just walked in and tried to talk to Grace Ashcroft about a report that she was making up, and she was a bit too lost because Samuel Jackson had to call her name 3 times. Okay, even like tap at her boot. Okay, so the report that she was typing, and yes, I saw this as a replay, and I had to invert the colors just to make the text a bit more visible. Okay, the report that she was typing was about I think a 4th incident that happened. I did not pay attention to the pictures, so I don't know what was up with the pictures. So after that, what happened was Grace gets called into the office, and Nick Fury wants to send Grace to some hotel. And yeah, I saw rumors about this a while ago, but that time there were so many rumors. Listen. Maybe Capcom was doing this on purpose, right? Okay, they're spreading out all these rumors. Okay, they're essentially doing the Avengers Endgame formula, that they are going to spread out these rumors so that no one knows which one is true. But unfortunately, they can't execute it as well as Avengers Endgame. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, because when we saw Iron Man was the one who snapped his fingers, right? Okay, everybody who I saw in the theaters and whatever were surprised. Okay, but in Resident Evil 9, okay, I've seen a rumor out there that this is just Rose who changed her name and who just dyed her hair blonde. I'm like, nah. There is a possibility of that, considering what we saw later in the trailer. And by the way, I'm sorry if I didn't give you any spoiler warnings, but yeah, I am going to talk about the trailer that just released. So if you don't want this to be spoiled, just you can kindly hit that like button and leave. I'm sorry for spoiling this for you, but yeah, this is the best to a blind person's ability. What he can do, basically. Okay, I always like to do it like this. Okay, I always like to do it like this. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Point the other way, and then turn on light. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna let the cutscenes play so we have some time to talk. Okay, so after that, what happened was we saw some flashbacks of Grace and someone dying, someone being burned to death or something like that.
Perfect.
Okay, and later on, we also saw that Nick Fury stand-in said that
might have been a special
Alyssa Ashcroft died.
In any case, this prison's been taken
what you call it?
The troops have been wiped out.
What are you saying?
You're free to leave
Alyssa
the
Ashcroft
complex.
died 8 years ago. Now, this
you may as
8
well know you
years,
have no chance
I'm a
of getting
little
off this island.
skeptical about this. Okay.
And what about you? What are you going to do?
Don't worry about me.
Essentially, Resident Evil Requiem. Okay, they're gonna call this Requiem, which I think is a good name actually. Is gonna happen after Resident Evil 8. Okay. Wait. Move. Okay, I need the knife. Okay, so Resident Evil Requiem is going to happen after Resident Evil 8. And Resident Evil 8, Chris Redfield was... Resident Evil 8, Chris Redfield was 48 years old. Okay, now, according to Nick Fury, Alyssa Ashcroft, who was one of the playable... Okay, no, you know what? I'm just gonna, say this right now. Ashcroft was one of the playable characters in... Alicia Ashcroft was one of the playable characters in Resident Evil Outbreak and Outbreak File 2. Surprisingly, someone who the voice actress of this character, Claire Redfield, Allison Court, worked extremely hard on. Okay, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, they released only like 25% of the game. In 2 versions, they released only 25% of the game. Okay. And Allison also helped with the motion capture. If I'm not mistaken, in... you know what? I'm just going to save right here. Okay, so, yeah. So, Alyssa Ashcroft is part of the Outbreak games. And I know it's a little confusing about the canonical status of Outbreak. Now, Alyssa Ashcroft is merely a journalist, an investigative journalist. Okay. So that's consistent. Does that make Outbreak canon? No. For Outbreak to be canon, an incident, not just a name, an incident from Outbreak must have happened. Okay, that's acknowledged in other canonical games. And yes, I've seen this stupid room, this stupid notion, it doesn't matter what's canon. Yes, it does matter. Okay? Especially if you're like me, someone who does character analysis. Okay? It really, really does matter. Okay, it really does matter what's canon and what's not canon.
Canon matters.
Oh, hey, what's going on, buddy? Okay, welcome to the stream. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and share with others that you might think enjoy that. And like I said, I joined this stream, doing Resident Evil, considering we just got a Resident Evil, Requiem, yeah. Requiem announcement. Okay, so back to where I was discussing the trailer. Okay, so yeah, apparently Grace Ashford is Alyssa Ashcroft. Grace Ashcroft is Alyssa Ashcroft's daughter, and the rumors that Alyssa died 8 years ago. Now, when this 8 years is, it does make a difference, and Grace is sent to a hotel where she's like, what do you call it?
Science and nature.
caution. Oh, wait, hold on. Wow, I didn't realize I can walk. I can actually see this clearly. Wow, in my old TV I could barely see. Okay, anyways, after that we see an older woman's voice talking, and an older woman's voice talking, saying that just stay close and just watch out and all this, and a guy's voice talking and a younger woman's voice talking as well. Okay, so the younger woman's voice was Grace. Okay, the younger woman was Grace. The older woman is most likely gonna be what you call it? Grace. Also, young woman. The older woman is most likely gonna be what's her name? Alyssa Ashcroft. Okay, and she's gonna say something like she faked her own death to do investigation of this cult. Listen, this is going into the evil within true territory. Okay, the evil within true. Maya also sort of faked her own death and all that, like, to get into like inner workings of Mobius. Okay, and then you have some guy, I think what might have been his dad or something, because the guy looked kind of older, so or her dad. And then you had you've not seen the kind of shit that I've seen. Okay, that might have been Chris Redfield. And they kept calling Grace the chosen one and whatnot. Okay, this is where I think we might have a, let me finish this. Okay, this is where we might have a bit of ground in terms of maybe that is Rose in disguise. Okay, saying that she's the chosen one, but then again, this is not the same.
Don't shoot. Who are you?
This is not the same village in Romania.
You're not a zombie.
This is
well, great.
I would
Wait right there.
think this is
I'm coming over.
an American suburb. Okay, because Resident Evil 8, if I'm not mistaken, takes place in.
Sorry about that little misunderstanding.
Partly in Romania, if I'm not mistaken.
Shut up.
Okay, so
Make one wrong move and I'll shoot.
okay, so in Resident Evil
My name's Steve.
Requiem, the trailer,
I was a prisoner on this island.
we see
And I'm
what's her name? Grace
You're not from
waking up upside down.
No.
Resident Evil 4 remake Ashley style, if I'm not mistaken. And she was in her underwear or something. Something like that. And then we got, February 27th. Okay. So
there's an airport around here.
my thoughts about this is I think that might be Chris. Okay.
I'll see ya.
Hey, wait
Next.
up.
Did I like this trailer?
I don't want you following me.
Okay, in terms of, because listen, we did not get a gameplay, so we can't talk about gameplay. Okay, but we did get a story. We got the story and the cutscene, so that's all we have to go on. Okay, in terms of the story and cutscene, this is almost a shake my head moment. I'm like, Resident Evil 4 remake Separate Ways ended with Wesker. Saying soon the sun will set on the fall of man, or something like that, right? Resident Evil 8, okay, took place, Resident Evil 8 ended with Chris going after the BSAA. Okay, the blue umbrella, red umbrella, Democratic, Republican umbrella, whatever. Okay. What the hell? Okay, so you have these two unfinished stories. Can you please finish a story? what the hell is this? Wait, there are two stories going on, and you decide to start a third story. I'm like, what the hell, man? What the hell, Capcom? Hold on. Okay, so I'm like, what the hell, Capcom? Like, you already have two stories. Why are you starting a third one?
I still don't understand why canon matters so much.
Okay. Canon matters. Canon matters because without the canon, you don't know exactly what story to follow and which sequence of events to actually pay attention to. Because if canon didn't matter, then you'd have a lot of contradictory events, that take place. For instance, like I said, and like these are subtle things that that matter. Okay, for instance, when Resident Evil 2 came out,
treat them as standalone.
No. When Resident Evil 2 came out, right? Oh no, you can't do standalone either because the game is telling you the stories are connected. So if you go against what the game is telling you, then you're just saying that okay, like I don't believe what the game is telling me. At that point, you're just denying the source material. I'm like, bro, that doesn't make sense. That's like if you watch Avengers Endgame, okay, you can't say no, Infinity War was its own movie that's not connected to Endgame. Bro, that's not how it works. That's absolutely not how it works, bro. Like, there is subjectivity, but that's just, stupidity.
It's not supposed to make full sense. It's a game.
Okay, he dead? He dead. No, but see, no.
All of the protagonists have plot armor.
Yeah, I get it, but still, the more the story makes sense. No, like I said, the same thing. You could, like, like if you take a movie, okay, if you take, let's say, what you call it? Like if you take Endgame, you can't say the same thing about Endgame. You can't say the same thing about it. Like, okay, it's just plot armor is just like it's not supposed to make full sense. I'm like, bro, it breaks from the immersion. Like, see, one of the reasons the Mortal Kombat 1 game was it wasn't that good. It's like, I'm not talking about the gameplay. I'm not talking about the fighting mechanics of the gameplay. No, okay, I'm talking about the story. It's because it's because the immersion was broken. Now, in the case of Mortal Kombat, it doesn't matter that much because Mortal Kombat is a fighting game. But when it comes to okay, I'll give you another example. Okay, The Last of Us. One of the reasons The Last of Us 2 was so bad was because of its incoherent story and its nonsensical plot. Okay, where a lot of times, wait, what's this? Okay, where a lot of times the story was so, you know, incongruent with the first game that it broke the immersion. Like you kept asking yourself, like, wait a minute, that's not what happened, that's not what happened. I'm like, if you're trying to enjoy a movie or you know follow a story, you like, the less you keep asking yourself that question, like, oh, that's not what happened, like, the easier it is for you to like stay immersed in the game. So this is why for me lore matters. And yes, in the lore itself, in the Capcom lore itself, okay, I'm not trying to sound, trying to sound dismissive or something. It's just like, it's just that, when you have the best,
I think it's what you take from it.
Yeah, and what I take from it is actually the explanation that has the least amount of inconsistencies, and I think that is a logical stance to take. Anyways,
for example, seeking revenge and losing fingers.
Hold on, I didn't catch that. Hold on, let me. Oh.
I don't think that's myths evolve, nor does storytelling.
Wait, what? Seeking revenge. Okay, I'm not sure I understand what you mean by myths evolve, but yeah, but like I said, you're talking about something that happened in The Last of Us Part 2. Yes, this was one of the biggest problems in The Last of Us Part 2. I'm like, it went, it turned into something about.
The game has a narrative.
No. It turned into something about, stupid people solving their problems in stupid ways, like stupid people doing stupid things. The game's narrative was always about surviving in a biohazard and the story of humanity being told during that survival, and the choices, the sacrifices, and the difficult decisions people have to make. This is what made The Last of Us 1 so good, and the lack of this is what made The Last of Us 2 so bad. Anyways, so that was the trailer for this game. So if you've seen it, what's the name? Mind's Eye. Oh yeah, there was a game called Mind's Eye as well. What did you think of it? If you've seen the Summer Game Fest.
Oh, I need to check it out.
Oh, okay. Okay, but basically I gave you a synopsis of what was there.
I used to play SF tourney at PAX.
Okay, I think there is a Street Fighter announcement as well that happened. Okay, so my thought is that, like I said, if you're just looking for a game to play, that's fine, but like Resident Evil 9, like I'm like, yeah, okay, we don't mind if you move to a different story, but like the only thing I'm asking for is like, can you finish one story? I'm like, Resident Evil 7 and 8, okay, the good thing about this is it happened back to back and they finished.
Ways up Bengal.
Okay.
Have you ever played MGS2?
Yes, I've played MGS2, yes. I might actually play this game for a while. But yeah, so apart from that, like, you know, wait, I just killed you guys. I'm not.
So the game can fully be canon, right?
Okay, when it comes to Metal Gear, the canon problem is also something that, like, you know, it's an issue. When it comes to Metal Gear, but okay. Metal Gear 2. Okay, now which part? Okay, yeah. The transition from Metal Gear 2 to Metal Gear 4. Wait, are you talking about the transition from Metal Gear 2 to Metal Gear 4?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
The note is great.
Okay, the Metal Gear 2 to Metal Gear 4. Okay, hold on.
In MGS2, Snake even jokes about his headband and infinite ammo.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. The whole thing about them climbing into a dinosaur that has more dinosaurs in it. Like, yeah. Here's the thing, and this is where, like, you know, like when it comes to Metal Gear Solid stories, people don't revere Metal Gear Solid 2. People try to avoid that game. And I believe even Hideo Kojima figured it out that, okay, this is getting way too ridiculous. But, okay, here's the thing.
Please deposit any
Notice
metallic
the
items you
ending.
have
I just think
in
canon
the
is mostly
security
subjective.
box.
I love Dragon Ball, but I don't count GT.
No. Like, subjective is when it comes to interpretation. Like, this is just like, you know, reading days of a calendar. I'm like, bro. Now I'm like, buddy, there's no room for subjectivity here because you're just mentioning facts. I'm like, so, like, you know, it's something that's like scientifically testable and like, you know, measurable. So this is where, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, subjective versus objective, this is where, you know, subjectivity, you know, takes.
Yeah,
like,
but Chris punching a volcanic rock is ridiculous.
Okay, now that's what the game says happens. Okay, so we are going to believe that. Okay, and it also got, I think it was Heisenberg who mentioned this. Yeah, so it got referenced in multiple games. So we are as ridiculous. Listen. Look at this game. Okay, Titanic wannabe. Okay. This Titanic wannabe game where Claire ironically falls in love with Steve the moment she sees him with no pants on. Okay? Yeah. Dumber things have happened in gaming, my friend. But like I said, it gets referenced, so, like, you know, we don't dispute that. That's the word I was looking for. But yeah, in Metal Gear Solid 2, right? And okay, if you notice the ending of Metal Gear Solid 2, notice that. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, no, not in Metal Gear Solid 2. Notice the ending of the other Metal Gear Solid games. Okay, Metal Gear Solid 1. Snake was not supposed to come out of retirement. In fact, even like the original Metal Gear Solid, it was supposed to be a one-off game. Then you had Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, okay, where Big Boss came back. It was supposed to be a one-off game, or, like, you know, the story was supposed to end there. Then Metal Gear Solid, the PlayStation Metal Gear Solid came out. Look at the ending. It was supposed to be a one-off game, like, you know, there was not supposed to be anything else. But here's the thing, Hideo Kojima kept getting called back over and over again. So this is why you see the inconsistencies, and this is why after Metal Gear 2, this is what I feel, that Hideo Kojima, he went back and said that, you know what, I'm not making a sequel, I'm making a prequel, because it ties in the lore. And, you know, that went off in its own direction. With Resident Evil, right? Resident Evil 1, yes, it ended conclusively. They did not plan a Resident Evil 2 when they had a Resident Evil 1. Okay. When they had a Resident Evil 2, they were already planning a third Resident Evil game. Okay, and here's where a lot of people make mistakes. Okay, this was not supposed to be the third game. The third game was always supposed to have Jill in it. That's what you need to know. Okay, and originally, if I'm not mistaken, and I figured this out the hard way. Okay, you know what? Let's just initiate this.
Chris Redfield.
I found this out the hard way. The original ending of Resident Evil 2 was supposed to be Leon A, Claire B. The one where Sherry does not get infected. However, we saw in Resident Evil 4 that the canonical ending
it seems your brother's
actually
under surveillance by
B,
Umbrella.
Claire A. Because the first time Leon meets Ada, Leon knew Ada was
Leon
alive.
And tell him to let my brother know
I
he's
thought this
being
was supposed to be
monitored.
3.
It's a good
No,
thing
this
I
is
have
not supposed
access
to be
to
3.
an outside connection from
Like I
here.
said, the third game was
That file
always
shows
supposed
latitude
to
and
be
longitude of this place.
a game with Jill in it.
Why don't you send your
because
brother
the
the
original
coordinates and ask
version
him to
of
come
Code
help?
Veronica was
Thanks.
supposed to
I'll
have
do that.
Chris, Leon,
Hey, I'm
Jill,
just kidding.
Barry, and even Hunk,
There's
but
no way
no
he could get
Claire.
here, even if
Resident
he
Evil
is
9?
your brother.
They're going to prolong
Yes,
such
he
franchise,
can. I'm
aren't they?
sure of it.
Yes.
No way. He won't come. You'll just end up disappointed if
Okay.
you rely on
By the way,
others.
one
Believe
thing
me,
about
I
Steve.
know.
Okay, listen, I just saw there's an absolute idiot.
What was that?
Okay,
all about?
I went into his live chat, trying to talk about Resident Evil 9. This absolute idiot, right? He says that it doesn't matter, if there is a butt placed in front of you, you're always going to look at that butt no matter what. I'm like, messed up in the head, degenerate. Okay, because we know Steve's backstory. Steve lost his entire family. His mother got killed in front of him. Okay, if you are someone who thinks that it doesn't matter if my mom died, I'm just gonna start I'm just gonna look at girls' butts anyways. I'm like, listen, if you're that kind of person who when you lose the most important family member of your life and all you think about is fornicating, I'm like, buddy, that you have some problems. Okay, and this is what I don't understand. How do people defend the Steve butt stare with a straight face, where we just saw in that cut scene that Steve was holding his head, trying to make sense of the world that just fell apart around him. I'm like, that's much more reasonable a reaction. But anyways, okay, so Metal Gear Solid. Okay, yeah, I was talking about Metal Gear Solid. This is what Metal Gear Solid 4. They somehow tried to tie everything in. Did they do a good job of it? A little bit. A little bit. Did it have plot holes? Yes. I mean, listen, the funniest thing I found about Metal Gear Solid 4 were the Beauty and the Beast incorporated, that the moment you beat the you beat the devil out of them, they suddenly start getting very lack of a better word, horny, and they try to basically have Old Snake make so much love to them that Old Snake dies. Okay, if you don't agree, then you tell me what's going on. Why do they try to grope him?
Question: what other game series or franchise would you like to see them to do a crossover with of Resident Evil? And it would be concise.
Okay, crossover. The Evil Within. The Evil Within maybe something to do with Batman. Other than this, I'm not getting any more names in my head at the moment. But yeah. Oh yeah, wait. I have to hit the garage door switch. Okay. But yeah, so that's it for Resident Evil 9. Now, there were other games that were announced. Okay, there was a new Mafia game that's announced. Yeah, there's a new Mafia game that's announced, and this is gonna be a prequel, if I'm not mistaken, because this takes place in Sicily, and this does not have the original protagonist. So, like, I know some of my friends are really looking forward to this.
Please deposit any metallic items you have in the security box.
Do I have any metallic items? Oh yeah, the bloody ink ribbon. Please don't tell me I just made a discovery. Please don't tell me I just made a discovery. Because the last time I went through this, all those zombies came out that window. Okay.
Yes, you have made a discovery.
Why only me? Why only me? Like, I'm like, anyways, yeah, I'm not, Resident Evil 9 DLC. There's gonna be a thing where Claire Redfield goes to therapy, and her therapist is a blackened person from Bangladesh called Dr. Dragon. I'm like, I'm gonna do that just to troll me. Yeah, a fire extinguisher is gonna fit in those jeans pockets. Okay, wow, I mean, you know what? I might actually do an extended gameplay of this game, without the streaming, because without the streaming, I can actually access the magnifier. Because the last time I played it, the last time I played it was on a Vizio TV. Okay, this is a TCL. On the Vizio 2014 Vizio TV, I could barely see anything. So yeah, there's more content coming up. But yeah, in terms of other games, there were some indie studio games, but all I saw, and maybe it's me, but all I saw is Doom clone, Doom clone, Doom clone. Which, like, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing per se, but like I said, like, if you have one Doom. The guy who has control of Claire, the DMX man. So don't mess with the Darkman X. Darkman X be bouncing again. Okay, yeah, there was something Street Fighter related as well. Some more of the Marvel game. Please don't resurrect. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so apart from that, there were a lot of games. There's that 2D. Hitman. Yeah, there's a new Hitman mission that's announced. Okay, and the villain, the main target, and this is not a spoiler because it just got announced. The main target from the main target of this Hitman mission is basically the villain from Casino Royale. So I think that's really cool. To do that type of a crossover. So, and man, Hitman's voice actor is just awesome. Like he's this South African dude. Wow, I don't recall me playing this game this well. Or in recent memory. Okay, so apart from that, I think that does it for day one of what you call it. That does it for day one of the Summer Game Fest. Tomorrow there will be Summer Game Fest as well, and guys, let me know. Do you want me to continue playing Resident Evil Code Veronica? Considering that I have talked so much about this game for 3 freaking years, and like have not given you a single, at least to the best of my abilities, full playthrough of this game. Or do you want me to, continue with Fallout 4? I mean, obviously, if there's a Fallout announcement tomorrow, I am going to talk about Fallout 4. Now, I'm going to, talk about it after, playing Fallout 4.
Please deposit any metallic items you have in the security box.
So, yeah, let me know what you want me to play next. But I am going to sign off in a little bit. As soon as I hit a save point, I'm
waiting.
Hold on. Oh, Kyle, how you been, man? I'm sorry, when I'm on my PS4, I can't necessarily see, but right now I just switched over to my PC for a little bit, and there's a little bit of a lag, so yeah. Okay, now there we go. Okay, I'm just gonna save this real quick, and I will join here. Oh shit!
And pink waiting.
Oh wait! I left my. No. Alright guys, I'll catch you guys in the next stream, and if you're watching this as a VOD, do let me know what you thought about the day one events of Summer Game Fest. And as always, hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons. This is your boy, the Bengal Dragon, signing out.